Cosplayers, what's the creepiest thing that has happened to you at a convention? I once dressed as Wario at PAX Prime and this guy dressed as Mario kept giving me dirty looks the whole time. Full disclosure, I am not actually Wario. Fantastic. At an anime con that I help run and I'm sitting at a table in the food court with a fellow convention runner and a female friend. Female friend is cosplaying as Sailor Mars. We were discussing creepy people at cons. Then 2 minutes later a guy comes up to the table and says, "I love your costume. I've been fantasizing about you since I was 13. At the time I was so shocked that all I could do is facepalm. She took it in stride, but I still can't believe that someone would say that. I have to deal with my fair share of creepy guys trying to get upskirt pictures just like almost every other cosplayer. The difference is when I catch them doing it I just pretend to not notice and let them continue to try to not get detected. Joke's on them. When they upload those pictures later all they'll get is frames full of penis. Please teach me your crossplay jutsu. Kawaii Yuga Sensei Sama." Well, I once met up with my girlfriend at Otakon, and I saw her before she saw me, so I went in for the hug, and she swung for my face. Apparently that had been happening a bunch. Dressed as Temari from Naruto, not particularly revealing or anything. Some dude comes up to me, tells me my costume is wrong and that Temari's shirt is cut lower, and before I can even react sticks his finger in the neckline of my shirt and drags it down almost to the bottom of my cleavage. Kid nearly lost his finger that day. Shoulder whacked him around with that giant fan. Me and my girlfriend have cosplayed together and she didn't get a single creepy comment or look while we were cosplaying until she posted a pic of her cosplay to Reddit. I believe she ended up deleting the post cause of how bad it got. You bunch of creeps. The anonymous effect. I remember one year, I was dressed as a L4D witch, complete with long disgusting fingers made of paint and tinfoil. Recently married at this point. Husband did not attend. I probably looked 16 or so. One guy came up to me as I was going up a staircase and insisted on helping me up the stairs, which consisted of much hand-on-ass action. Me. Sorry, please don't do that. Him. Oh, come in. I bet you are super cute under all that makeup. Me. Thanks, but I'm married. I can't wear my ring with these fingers. Him. Oh, sure, married, I bet. Sarcastically, continued to try grope. Me. Looking around frantically. Hey, Anna, how's it going? Thankfully, recognized a friend and was able to GTFO. Dude, he startled the witch. I'm pretty sure you had every right to rip his face off. So a couple years ago my friend was at our local Comic Con cosplaying as someone from Madoka Magica. She was walking around when suddenly she felt someone grab her butt. She turned around to see a large hairy man behind her and she said, "I'm 14. And he replied, "Yeah, I'm 40, and walked away. It was a very odd. Okay, so this was like 2010 or 2011 at Anime Detour, Minnesota. It was my first convention, and my first time cosplaying. I went as Genesis, from FFVII Crisis Core, and happened to run into a couple girls dressed as Tifa and a Genesis clone. So we stopped and talked, because matching costumes and stuff. As we're talking, a big drunk neckbeard comes up to us, dressed as Jeff Lebowski, complete with the dude sign on his shirt if you couldn't figure it out. Casually as frick, he starts hitting on Tifa, trying to be nice. We told him we needed to get going, because karaoke was starting soon. Turns out he loves karaoke, and he took theater in high school. How did we find this out? After subtly alluding to it, he starts serenading her with Phantom of the Opera. Finally, I just said we were leaving to head back to our room for the night, before he could try to follow after us. A group of girls dressed as the cast of Sailor Moon walked by, and he did the creepiest stalker pivot I've ever seen. He followed after them, and I didn't see him the rest of the night. He was hanging out in the lobby the next morning, obviously hungover. Stalker pivot. 2 words and I can almost see the move, and it is creepy faux show, and also, strangely funny, like the dog in Up. Boobs 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 different boobs. Many years ago I went to a con dressed as Chi from Chobits, and my boyfriend at the time was Hideki. They are the main character's love interest. The first day of the con, this strange teenage girl just glommed onto me, and started following me everywhere. She wasn't even in costume. She kept going up to random other cosplayers and asking them to take pictures of just me and them together. Not her, just the cosplayers. This went on for well over an hour, and she just would not take a hint. If I recall, we finally got rid of her after making some excuse that we had some friends to meet. To this day I'm pretty sure there is some creepy shrine of me in costume somewhere. She was probably planning on role-playing as you online. I made a rather elaborate Groot costume for Halloween this year. Spent about 2 weeks gluing and texturing tubes to make it all wood looking and was ready to enter a costume contest. Halloween night, I eventually make it to this bar after standing around waiting for taxis for about an hour. I stroll up semi-frantically looking for somewhere to register for this contest when I get spotted by the crowd. 2 things I should mention. 1. I'm black. 2. I live in China. This notice of my arrival turns the crowd pretty frantic because the movie had just come to theaters over here. Photos were fast and constant. Started off rather normal, but then I started feeling hands everywhere. I'd be taking a picture with one person and have 5 hands on me. With the mask on I had no peripheral vision, so things got super weird feeling really fast. I figured the voting was all based on crowd favoritism though, so I just sort of panicked under the mask and dealt with it. Contest happens. Win $300. Super stoked. Attempt to leave. Crowd of mostly Chinese people realizes that Groot is Groot and black. Mob descends again. It was by far the largest amount of stranger groping I'd ever had done to me. Far more than the old man who used to follow me around this grocery store and attempt to wipe the black off of me. Far more than the old man who used to follow me around this grocery store and attempt to wipe the black off of me. Please tell us this story. I'm a dude and I went to Boston Comic Con last year dressed as a gender-bent Nurse Joy. I was trying to buy some magic cards and the guy selling them cursed me out because I ruined every hunty for him and he would never be able to fap to Nurse Joy again. You should have told him. I guess now you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. I'm not a cosplayer, but I am intrigued with it. But I used to be a manager at the Hilton in downtown Houston and every year, they were the host hotel for OniCon. One year was especially bad. Some of the attendees used their real swords to cut holes in the sofas in the common areas and they actually crap shat in the holes. This is a 4-star hotel. Needless to say, that was their last year there. I was wearing a Master Chief cosplay. Since it had no pockets and it was really hot, I kept a bottle of water within the codpiece. Suddenly a girl runs up to me, reaches inside my codpiece and takes my bottle of water. It happened so fast and suddenly that I was stunned for like 20 seconds. I guess she really wanted my crotch water. So yeah, you were keeping a bottle in your codpiece because you didn't have any pockets. Folks, if you're at a convention and notice someone being creeped upon, female or male, help. Approach and ask if everything is okay. If they need any help, give them an excuse to get out of there. Anything. And especially if someone you've never met before comes up and treats you like a significant other or old friend. They're looking for help. They feel the need to be out of that situation immediately. Play along and get them out of range of the creeper. Find security or stuff for them. Whatever you can do. Nobody should have their good time ruined by someone with no social skills who can't take a hint. It can be a frightening situation, and it's not always possible to extricate yourself without outside help. I went to Star-Lord to a beer release party right before Halloween just for shoots and giggles. Had the mask, orb, gun and all. This party had a heavy metal concert going at it, so it was packed with metalheads. It was awesome because these drunk metalheads just frickin' treated me like I was Star-Lord. But it was also terrifying because these metalheads treated me like I was Star-Lord. Haha. I had pictures taken with a lot of people, and about every other photo someone would do something fricked up like grab my junk, ask to lick my gun or tell me to look like I was choking them. It was weird. Totally worth it, though. Someone gave me free beer tickets. Someone grabbed my boobs. I am a guy. I was cosplaying Fiona from Adventure Time, not Shrek, and there was a guy that tried to take upskirt photos while I was waiting in line. Loud. Public shaming is a lot of fun. It's hilarious when people get called out on being an ass like that. I went to a con a few years ago in Canada. They actually had to make an announcement saying that just because you're cosplaying a character of the opposite gender doesn't mean you get to use the bathroom of the opposite gender. Apparently this was a huge problem. First con the GF talked me into cosplay with her. I decided to go simple and went as Mario while she went as Link. Most of it went really smooth and fun with all the pictures and booth visits. Had more than one creeper mention they were picturing Mario and Link having sex after realizing we were a couple. Some people just don't have filters. Great, now I'm picturing Mario and Link having sex. It gets worse. Mario is from the Mario Bros Super Show and so is Link. It doesn't really count as creepy, more like intensely unconformable. I did a Constantine cosplay that I put way too much work into. Tracked down an off-brand raincoat from the early 80s, slept in, and carefully dry laundered a white button-up shirt for weeks, imported a carton of silk-cut cigarettes, which were awful, and bleached my hair. I was so excited. Con staff assumed I was some kind of drunk hobo, and I had security tailing me most of the day. You'd think the magic symbols drawn on me and flash paper in my pockets would be a giveaway that it was a costume, but apparently I pulled off the creepy almost homeless weirdo too well. Being constantly stalked by rent-a-cops didn't a fun time make. I can see how this wouldn't be fun, but it seems that you achieved the desired effect flawlessly, so really, well done you. I have a couple. Whilst cosplaying Elsa, we stopped to have a picture taken with a dad and a couple of his kids. He tells me my dress looks beautiful, which is a lovely compliment. He then tells me it would look better on his bedroom floor. His kids were around 5ish. Classy. Again, whilst cosplaying Belle, I again stopped to take a picture with a young family. The dad stopped and asked his kid, around 7, to take a picture of us. He immediately starts with the creepy comments, loudly telling his kid not to tell his wife because she'd get jealous. Then he proclaims how he's enjoying looking down my top. Best one will always be the guy that came over to me whilst I was cosplaying Ariel. Human, so big dress, and sang darling it's better down where it's wetter and made cringy hand gestures. It's strange because when I cosplayed Daenerys, which was basically a bra and a skirt with some fabric, I didn't get a single creepy comment. Ain't nobody gonna frick with the mother of dragons. I was cosplaying as Samus from the Metroid series. Had the suit and everything. So I'm walking around the convention minding my own business when some guy who looked like one of those know-it-all people. You know, the kind of people who try to convince they know everything? Anyway, he comes up and says to me, I bet you don't know the entire lore of the Metroid series. Even though I know most of it, I didn't have time to get into a dong measuring contest with this guy, so I walked past him. He ends up following me all around the convention asking me the same dang question. I eventually got tired of it, so I went to security and he was escorted out of the convention. It was creepy how he was so persistent to know if I was a true fan or not. At least I haven't seen him since. This isn't strange, but more endearing. I went as Link to a comic-con maybe 2 years back, and let me tell you, I went all out. Everything about the outfit matched the Twilight Princess tunic perfectly. Honestly, it's probably one of the only great things I'll ever do in my life. Anyways, I was walking around the con when a little Link, with his parents as Zelda and Ganon, walked up to me, and this kid looked like he just met Santa Claus. He was so excited to see me that he's probably the happiest I've ever seen a human being. So he comes up to me and he says, "Are you the real Link?" And I just nod and smile. He asks for a picture with me, and then this kid just hugs me and wishes me luck defeating Zant and goes on his merry way. That kid is my hero. Those parents are my hero. That family is my hero. Of time, of course. That's rather sweet, and a good detox from the rest of the stories in this thread.
Oh, hey, don't mind me. I'm just working hard on the next Dude Man video. Hey, by the way, if you want more awesome content like this, you should check that channel out. What you should want to watch more awesome content. Then head on over to Dude Man. I'm Lunar Steve and I'm the host over there. Go give it a look. I hope you like what you see.